Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here, and welcome on into a top 10 video. X-Men 97 just wrapped up, and I thoroughly enjoyed the season so much. I wish I could have done a full-fledged review, but unfortunately because of other reviews right now, there's just so much to do on the channel, and that takes up a lot of time. I did tweet out every single week my thoughts on them, and I was genuinely just blown away by the show. It's my favorite piece of Marvel content that they've put out in years, probably since like Endgame, honestly, that I just was that level of quality, and each week I was just so looking forward to it, and that has spawned this video here that we're going to be talking about, because right now Lego seems very one-track mind and locked in and obsessed with Wolverine and Logan, and I get it. He's obviously the most recognizable character. Some people think that his name is X-Man, so I'm a little bit frustrated because I want more. There's so much potential here beyond Wolverine, and obviously there is rumors of an X-Mansion appearing later on this year for a large-scale set. And obviously that's not going to be on the list here for the top 10 sets that I would love to see them do here. And I think that there's a lot of different ideas. If you want to hop around to each of them, you could do that now. Starting off in spot number 10, we have a minifigure series. I just look at this image alone has 12 characters. And I get that some of them obviously have already appeared in Marvel Series 2 and the sets. But there's so much characters beyond that could appear, and so many of them needed new pieces. Like, I will always stand by Rogue needing to have been in the minifigure series over Wolverine, because he didn't need any new pieces, she needed a new hairpiece. And there's other characters as well that could definitely use that, like Gambit could use a new hairpiece. And of course, there's other characters that appeared throughout the show, like Cable would be another one that I'd put in the series, and probably as well some villains you could put in there, whether it is Mr. Sinister or Bastion. Hopefully they, ideally they all appear in the X-Mansion, but looking at how things went down with the Sanctum, I'm not too sure. But moving on now to spot number 9, speaking of Mr. Sinister, I think a lab could lend itself really well to a set. I look at some of the past lab sets that we've gotten before from other superheroes sets, and I think that this would work really well. You could have him capture an X-Men and have him, studying them and experimenting on them, and then having them escape out and having other heroes to rescue him. I think that would be a lot of fun to see in a set and would fit very well with what they've already done for the theme. Spot number 8 is a large version of the Blackbird. I know we just got this in January, and the price for it is ridiculous, so I would be afraid to know what the price for this would be. But I think that a much larger version of it, one that could actually fit a lot more people, have a little bit more of an interior, very much akin to what we've been getting for Marvel right now with, the different Guardians of the Galaxy ships that we've gotten, as well as the Avengers ship, and having it on a black stand to go in line with those, I think would be really, really cool. And in spot number 7, we have Deadpool and Wolverine set, because I know that it's R-rated, but there's just already from these trailers, there's so much potential for them to have sets. Even if it was just Deadpool versus Wolverine and that's all we got, I think it would be really cool to see. But the Wasteland, there's just a lot of different play sets and vehicles that we've been seeing pop up in the trailers that would work so well for a set. And it's a shame that, at least so far that we've seen, there's nothing planned for this. And I just wish that Lego got over their R-rated hesitancy when it comes to the brands that they obviously work with and collaborate with. So with Marvel, I think that obviously the set would not be gory or inappropriate to the younger audience like the actual movie. I think that these would work well, even if you had to slap an 18+ logo on the box, whatever. I think that a set from that film would just sell insanely well, and it's a shame that we have that missed out. And I know that I'm going to get comments of, well, they've done Echo, and I don't think that Lego knew that Echo was going to be TVMA when she was put into the minifigure series for Series 2. Next up, spot number 6 from the show, it's the Porsche. And I just think that the Summers fighting off against Sentinels, whether they're human-infused or actual brick-built ones, I think this is a perfect set. I think that the car lends itself so well for a toy, and I just love that scene so much, especially that line delivery.
Show these toasters why you don't screw with the Summers.
I think that it would be such a great set to get Cable, Jean, and Cyclops all together. I'd love to see this happen. Spot number 5, it's helmets. X-Men needs helmets. I cannot believe that they decided to do Wolverine's claws as a set. One of the worst Marvel sets they've ever done, in my personal opinion. I much would have preferred to have the cowl for Wolverine, would have been much more interesting. I think that Magneto's helmet, oh my goodness, how many times has there been large collectibles out there of the helmet that have been sold? Lego would look so darn cool. But then another one you could do maybe is Cerebro, would be awesome to see too. And speaking of these sort of heads, I did omit one because it lends itself into spot number 4. A talking Deadpool head. When I saw the Sorting Hat and that sound brick, I immediately went to, oh my goodness, there was that talking Deadpool head. Imagine a Lego talking one, and like he's making fun of like Lego or different things, poking fun at that. Like the age for this one says 18 and up or something like that. I don't know. It would be so funny to see that talk and just sort of maybe move like the jaw or something. I don't know. I think that it would just be so beyond perfect to have him quip and do these different things like, oh, you built this wrong, or I can't believe Lego turned me into a set, or something like that. I haven't been around for 12 years. I don't know. It just would be so funny. I just think it would be so hilarious to see. Spot number 3, an Asteroid M final battle set. In line with what Lego's been doing recently with, obviously, No Way Home, and then we got the Endgame one, and most recently now for Avengers Age of Ultron, I would love a diorama set of that final battle. When I was watching the last 2 episodes, that throne that Magneto is sitting on with all of the Sentinel heads all piled up on top of each other, oh my goodness, how cool would that be? That would be awesome to see. And I know that a lot of people don't really like those outfits that they had towards the end of the show, at least for most of the characters, but it would be a good way to get them here in the set. Just a new minifigure design, right? Especially that outfit for Logan. I know that a lot of people really love the brown look, and it would be cool to get in a set since the last time was 10 years ago. Spot number 2, we talked about this a lot throughout the video, but a Sentinel. Just the Sentinel. Like, obviously, again, going back 10 years ago, they put a Sentinel in with the Blackbird, and it just should have been its own set. I remember, I think it was like a leak when it first came out online. It was just an image of the Sentinel and Logan, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, is this a Sentinel for like $15? This is going to be so, so cool. Here we are now 10 years later. There's so much potential here. There's 2 things that it can come in. It could come in a mech. Like, have it be one of the January sets. You put it sort of like the Venom versus Miles one that we just had. So it would be a Sentinel, and then it's fighting off against insert X-Men character here. Like whoever, going back to that picture of all 12 of them, throw them in there. The amount of copies that set would sell of people army building Sentinels for, what is it now, $15.99? Oh my goodness, it would sell like hotcakes. Then you do an even larger version of the Sentinel and actually use your buildable characters for something that people want and not shelf warmers like that Wolverine figure, Captain America, and all of them just do, and they just collect dust. Do a Sentinel, because a large scale one like that and using it properly, sort of like what they've done recently with the Sandman one, or even Surtur in August, these things actually make sense to be in that scale. And having a larger Sentinel like that would be really awesome to see. Spot number 1, I know that I said I wouldn't include the mansion in the list, and it's not exactly what you'd think. Imagine for me here a sort of similar line to what they do for Hogwarts, where you would have a modular system like we had during the 20th anniversary ones, where you can stack them on top of each other and remove the roofs and different things. Imagine across different years, you could get expansions to it. So you would maybe start off with like just the center bit, and you'd have the doorway in one summer, let's say, and it would just be that. Maybe you would have a classroom, maybe an office, and then you could expand out, having different classrooms, maybe having the basketball court as one set. I don't know. Again, I'm just spitballing here. And then down below, In another set, you could sell the exact same size of that. You would have it be the danger room so that they can train. You could have their sort of headquarters room. You could have a lab. There's all of these different rooms that I'm imagining in my head that just they would sell so well across the board to create this large X mansion. And I don't think that the color scheme would necessarily interfere with people maybe getting it confused with Hogwarts. I don't know. We're sort of even moved away from this style for Hogwarts now going forward. So I think this would be really cool to get. I think that, again, character-wise, it would be such a good way to get new characters and as well villains, because they need to be fighting someone in each of these sets. It would be great to get so many people, you know, even maybe some big figs could be in some of the larger sets would be really great to see. And LEGO Marvel Superheroes is no stranger to connecting sets. Obviously, we've already seen them do that with the Iron Man Hall of Armor. And I know what some people might say. They'd be like, why would they sell 2 X mansions at the same time? They just said that with Simba this last week, and it's because of affordability. We don't have a price or a piece count for it, but I hope that this is like the definitive version of the mansion, but I still think that it's important to still offer a regular one for kids. And I think that that's exactly what this could be. But anyways, everyone, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the show. Do you have any ideas for sets like this? Which ones would you like to see LEGO do? Comment it all down below. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Hope you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next one.